Well, I'm over here today at the CordKing firewood processor to give you an update and a little more than a year review. We have a little over 500 hours on it. Just thought I'd give you a quick review. As long as I'm here too, I'm going to take you around the yard and show you what this machine is capable of and how we actually came to pay for this machine in about a year and how it fits our needs. There's some pros, some cons. May or may not be right for you if you're thinking about starting in the firewood business, and I can give you my opinion why, because it's free. So first of all, this is a M18 CordKing firewood processor. It has a hydraulic log deck, a 35 horsepower gasoline engine with an upgraded 29-ton 6-way adjustable wedge firewood processor. So Joe and I bought this machine a year ago this past April. Bought it April of 2024. Started putting it to work just about the 1st of May a year ago. Don't use it every day, all day, but Joe has put 95% of the hours on it. She actually just loves to run it. It's simple to run, as you've seen in our previous videos. Just a few short hours, you get a rhythm down, it really runs pretty smooth. A little common sense about how crooked a wood you put on and if the knots are trimmed, just do that stuff beforehand and this machine really runs smooth. As probably with most firewood processors, no matter the brand, if you've got fairly straight wood, the knots don't seem to affect it too much, but just having them trimmed up makes a huge difference, and the machine runs smooth. So as you've seen maybe a couple of videos ago, which I hope you saw, Joe was doing some boiler wood. And what we call boiler wood, I guess, is for outdoor firewood boilers, is it's split a little bigger chunks, so it's a little less finesse. We can put bigger wood through, which obviously makes wood faster. So she loaded the truck about 34 minutes, I believe it was, a cord and a half, a big cord and a half. So this machine can do, in the right conditions, up to 3 cord an hour. They advertise it, Dave, as about a cord and a half an hour machine. Even in the smallest of the wood, which takes a long time, as you know, when you're cutting 4 and 5 inch wood to make a cord, Joe can still run through with 16-foot long pieces a cord an hour. So even 6 hours a day on this machine with brakes and everything, an easy 6 to 8 cord a day is very easy to do. She would normally run this 2 hours a day to sometimes 3, and then another hour cleanup before and after. She likes to keep things picked up around the machine. It makes it a little nice, even like the simple things of wiping this hydraulic tank off and keeping things organized and oiled up, and it's easier to keep track of when you can not buried in sawdust. You can see what's going on for leaks and everything else. So basically this machine has been totally trouble-free. We have had really 0 issues. One little issue with the, I'm not sure what they even call it, it's a switch that activates the chain when the bar comes down. When I got the machine home, it was cold and I pulled on the wiring when I was pressure washing it and cracked it. And after about a year, that started getting some moisture in it. It was still warranted, even though it's kind of somewhat my fault. Dave sent us a new one and we've had no issues other than that. It's really running flawless. The bar has got over 500 cord, and we've got 10 chains. We're using 3, and it's still not even halfway all 3 chains. It's amazing how much wood this will cut. Now it did get dull the other day. Joe was still cutting a cord an hour, and I come over to run a couple big pieces through where she was taking a break, and I noticed how dull it was. It was really going slow. She just stays on it all day and keeps cutting, and really didn't realize how dull it was. So I took the chain off. I have another one that's sharp in the shop, and I threw it on. It's like almost twice as fast. So it does pay to keep the chain sharp. We usually run about 10 to 12 cord, and then we just change out for a sharper chain. I sharpen them in the garage. It's easier than on the machine. And I do sharpen them by hand with a file. I've just done that logging my whole life. since I was 13, filing by hand. I do have a Dremel. I've got sharpening stones. I've tried every YouTube trick there is. I can take it in and put it in a vise in a bar and sharpen it by hand. Sharper, quicker, just me. So it uses about a little over a gallon of gas per hour. So pretty much a gallon of gas will get you a cord of wood in most conditions. We keep track of all the gas, and I got to add it up, but I think I'm around 530 gallon of gas. And let me check the hours here. $510 hours even. And we've cut well over 500. We've got some in the pile we haven't got calculated up yet, but we're probably getting pretty close to 550 cord. And we let the machine warm up in the wintertime 15 minutes at least. So, and then sometimes in the hot summer days we let it cool down for a couple minutes before we shut it down. So it gets some warm up time, and then if somebody shows up, we just idle the machine down and go talk to a customer. So it does run a little bit other than just processing. So we're averaging over a quart an hour on the hour meter and just a little over a gallon an hour on gas. So that gives you an idea about the cost. I said it does not use a lot of chain and bars. We're still on our bar, our original bar. We do have a spare. This is still seems to have a lot of life left in it. I did grind it twice, but it's still working good. And also we change the oil every 100 hours, and it's due for its 5th oil change right now. And we use 10W30 engine oil, and we also use fry oil, used fry oil that's clean. Haven't seen a whole lot of difference in either one. The bar is not wearing, so we just use what works, something thin here for the winter. I bought a 55-gallon barrel of unmarked, we knew it was 10W30 oil, we didn't know what brand. We bought it for $1 a gallon, so hey, it's going in the machine. Along with Jill had some fry oil left over from the cafe that was used, some new, older stuff that had froze. We mix it, dump it in either way, doesn't seem to make any difference. So just an inexpensive way to oil the chain. I'm not paying $16, $18 for bar oil when motor oil does the same thing. I know there's a lot of people out there that think the bar oil is stickier, and in the real hot conditions in the south, yes, it would make a difference. Here in Alaska, we rarely get above 70 degrees. Most days, we average about 50, 55 degrees. And the other thing is, with this firewood processors, other than a chainsaw, this chain's not spinning all the time. So when it goes back up to split, the chain is stopped, and it doesn't turn the RPM that a chainsaw chain turns. So the lubricant is not quite as important. So just you want to keep that in mind too. Now with a chainsaw, when I was logging, I used whatever I could. When I first started logging the first 4 or 5 years, I had no money. Ed had a little bit of money, and we used whatever we could for oil. And then as time progressed, I got a little older and wiser. I did use bar oil when I was logging, but for the processor, we just use 10W30 motor oil or fry oil from wherever you can get it. Seems to work just fine too. So that being said, this machine is very efficient, and as we get older, I don't want to be out with a chainsaw every day cutting wood, and Joe likes to be splitting the wood, and it's very relaxing, yes, therapeutic. Whatever she gets on here, puts her headphones on and her music, and she gets in a rhythm. I try to keep the deck filled up for her. If I can work around the yard and keep an eye on the deck, she can run a deck through, depending, but anywhere from 15 minutes to half an hour, depending on the size of the wood. And when we load the deck up with a 16-foot, we can get about a half a cord on. So it's just easier for us at our age, and I said this machine will easily pay for itself, as Joe proved in one of our previous videos. We've done all the math. Just casually running it, buying the wood, no problem paying for itself. So if you're considering a firewood business or starting a firewood business, you just need a little bit of room. A nice lot helps with no mud. Be worth the investment for a few loads of gravel. A little bit of space and a little motivation goes a long ways also. This seat, if it's empty, it's not making any money. So when this machine's sitting here idle, not going to pay for itself. You got to be sitting in the seat. It's like anything else. If you drive a tractor trailer semi, as Jill did for years, like she said, you got to keep the driver's door closed and in the seat, and you'll make money. Doesn't matter if you have a mini skid, a skid steer, a mini excavator. If you're only putting 100 or 200 hours a year on it, you're not making money. If you're putting 1,000 hours, 1,500 hours, 2,000 hours a year, you'll start to make money. That's just the way it is. You have to work. And that's a dirty four-letter word that most young people really don't like to hear. We find more and more as a lot of our customers, we have all age customers, but we have a lot of older customers that come and say the same thing. Trying to get somebody to pile wood or do any kind of extra work is about impossible. There goes Miss Jill, as you can hear on her little gizmo. She's going over to get insulation. We're insulating our shop. She's doing that today. It's raining out. So she's just doing some work inside and taking a little break. We have been busy. I'll take you around the yard here and show you some of our wood piles. If you watch some of our other videos, you'll see some of these have really gone down. But I just wanted to touch base on the 500 hours use on this machine. We are still in love with it. It is an amazing little machine. CordKing does not sponsor us in any way whatsoever, other than I got 2 free hats when I bought the machine. And I'm on my 2nd hat. So Dave, if you're listening, cold out, I could use a clean sweatshirt and a hat. So let me take you around and just give you a quick view of the machine here. We had a few compliments on our video a couple days ago. We've been really busy, so I've done a short video on the spray foaming of the shop and insulation and soundproofing, and I had some really good comments back and some good ideas, so thank everybody. We enjoy the comments, suggestions, and if you know somebody that likes to watch this type of video, have them subscribe. It will help our channel, and we really do like all the comments and suggestions. So let me take you around the machine here and we'll show you what we've got, and I'll take you around the yard, show you some of the wood piles, what this machine will produce, and then I'll give you a quick view of the shop up there while I'm right here. So let me pull the cover off here. We have these rubberized, this is actually old rubber roofing, and we keep all the controls covered up and the seat covered up. So it's pretty basic. One hand runs the splitter. The other hand just runs the log feed in. This brings the log up to the hydraulic stop right there, and we can adjust that to different lengths from 12-inch all the way to 24. So, or maybe even 20, I'm not sure on that, but we normally run 16-inch and we cut it all the way down to 12.5 for pizza wood. So bring the log in, bring the saw down and do the cut, push the saw back up. And if we need to, this will back up the log on the deck if you need to back it up for some reason. This lever just uses the live deck, and this will raise the wedge up and down. So the wedge and this little lever here will also run your elevator, which we do not have hooked up, but this runs the up and down for the log deck. And I just made this lever, cut it off and made it shorter so Joe wouldn't grab it by mistake and try to lift the log deck. So it does have couplers on the bottom here for an elevator, a stacker. So one thing I really like about this machine, a couple things. One of them is it's got this big, deep chamber for the splitting. So when the wood comes out, these are a little bigger than most processors we've seen. So a lot of the small wood, the 2-inch wood will drop right through. A lot of chips drop through here. Now, of course, you get big chunks of bark. It'll slide along, and if 2 people aren't here, if you're not cleaning out the chamber once in a while, some of that bark will go up the elevator, but for the most part, it'll just fall through. All the chips like this, when they get pushed, they'll fall through. All the sawdust comes down. So there's one day's cutting over there. We put those totes, cut off totes underneath the processor, and that grabs pretty much all of the slash. Now you'll get some going up the elevator. We use this grain elevator, and we do oil this. I just give it a couple little shots of oil once a day when we start. Had no issues, and this elevator's had over 500 cord go up it, and we have not had anything seriously wrong. We've had a couple jams earlier. When we first started running it, we found out our chain was too loose. We cured that problem. So it does work well, and we power this with a little Honda motor, gas, and this just idles. And this only takes, oh, we're lucky if we use a gallon a week. This thing just idles and works really well. Starts first, second pull every time, typical Honda. And we blow the sawdust into one of these small, these are Inca totes, they call them, with a cover. We have a few of these around the property. So we just pull that cover off, blow the sawdust in, and they go into these, we hand shovel it into these bags. And yeah, we did try to put the bag up there. It works okay, but then you still have to move it. And if it's raining out, it's hard to put the cover on and keep them dry. So we just use these totes. And we got another tote under there to catch other debris that falls through. Just easier to clean out. And we keep the engine covered. It does have a little cover over top of it. It's a 35 horse Vanguard twin cylinder. One of the issues we did have last winter, and this is with all gas engines, is the intake manifold would frost and it would start starving for gas. So we found out, we put an additive in the gas, and that helped quite a bit. And what really worked well is we put a few drops of transmission fluid, or 2-cycle oil works well too, in the gas, and that did cure it. An old-time mechanic said dump a little bit of 2-cycle oil in the gas and that'll cure it, and it did. So 25-gallon gas tank. This is a newer style. The old style had the round tanks on them. And the bar oil is about 1.5 gallons. And as you can see, this is the oil level here. We've cut over 15 cord with less than 1 gallon of bar oil. So it's very easy on bar oil. And there's Miss Jill.
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to come over and let folks know that I operate most of these hours on this CordKing, which I love. I love to do. After 8 hours, I'm not tired. It's one of the few machines that I can sit there and operate it and put the wood through it and make these piles and not get tired.
You heard it. 8 hours. I just told you she works 2 to 3 hours a day. Now she said she'll work 8. Yippee. Looks like I'm going on a cruise with that kind of hours. Where are we going to get that kind of wood? So yeah, we could easily do, let's see, if we done 8. This would easily do 2,500 cord a year. Easily. Not working 6 hours a day, 300 days a year. You could do 2,500 cord.
Yeah, but we're not into, no.
So this year we're probably going to be total with the logs, probably pressing 400 cord, which is...
That's perfect.
Too much for me, but perfect for Jill. She loves running this machine. I would rather be on a piece of equipment out on my shooting shack, which I got Magnus to spray foam the ceiling for me just to take the moisture barrier out. And then we had a suggestion from one of our viewers about rock wool insulation. So that's really good sound absorbing insulation for soundproofing. So we're going to try that. I do know there is a cork board out, kind of change the subject, but when you get me in shooting. There's a cork board insulator out that works really well, but it's expensive. I have checked into that. I have been at a couple of the state forensic labs here a few years ago. They built a new one, and I got the chance to take a tour of it, and they do a test firing in that lab, and they have that lined with that cork board, and you can literally shoot high power rifles and not hear it in the next room. Amazing stuff, but it's too spendy. Unless I get Joe working 8 hours a day in this machine, I probably can't afford that. And I don't think she's willing to hand over the cash to me.
That's not happening.
So let's get back to the machine here. Like I said, I'll take you around the yard. It is an 18-20. And the way that we have this machine set up, now we bought this December 2023 and paid for it, and then they built it March of 24 because there was going to be a price increase on steel, and every other material, of course, keeps going up in price. So Dave gave us a call because we'd talked to him about buying it, and he said, hey, there is going to be a price increase coming up. So we pulled the trigger and decided to buy it. So at that price, this machine was $51,000 US money. They have them a little less than that if you get a few less options. I would strongly suggest the live deck and also hydraulically lift that. It's a little bit extra, but it's well worth it. Don't quote me, but I think this hydraulic log stop, instead of the little flexible piece of cable that doesn't work very well, hangs down. I think this is about a $1,300 or $1,400 option. We did upgrade the splitter from 24 ton to 29 just because the 6-way wedge, and we could run an 8-way on this, which we may do. We're not sure yet, but this works really well for the size wood that we have for the most part. And I think that's all we got for options. Everything else was standard on the machine, so comes pretty well equipped. Other than the upgrade on the splitter, the live hydraulic deck, and the auto log stop. Oh, we did get the auto clamp. So the clamp, when it comes down to clamp the log up here, they have them without the auto clamp, and what you have to do is pull a separate lever to clamp the log, then you pull the other lever to saw the log. Well, that's okay, but when you go to bring this log ahead in the next motion, you got to remember to have that clamp up, or you're going to start bending and breaking things. So with Jill not having the experience of running equipment, and it is much easier to run with this auto clamp. It's one less lever to move your hands stay put on 2 levers only, no concentrating. You can just, it comes in very easy rhythm with that auto clamp. And I think that was a little bit of money, like $1,100 option, and Jill did balk at that, but that was one of my things. I said, there's no way you're going to be on that machine without that, because it's just so convenient. And that little bit of money, now that we've done it, it's pretty glad. And what we did not get is a cab, and I would have got a cab if I was going to be in the thing. She kind of wishes now maybe that she would have, because even like today it's a light rain. But let's get over here to the wood pile. So she's stacking some of the wood. It's not drying as nice as we thought it would. It is cracking open, but slow. You can see it's colored nice. This wood was cut last December, this pile. We finished it the first part of January. And then we started on this pile, and we finished this just about the end of March, mid-March, I think we finished this pile. And then we went over to the RV park, and we'll take a walk over there in a minute. Let me take you around over here to the pizza wood. So we cut this a year ago. This is nice and dry. And of course, we keep everything up on pallets. So this has been a steady supply for us. They're using the cord about every 6 weeks now. But so this is our pizza wood, and we just put the machine down to cut 12-inch long, as you can see, and then we just put smaller wood through, and that's what they're looking for. So that worked well. You hear the helicopter up there. Pinnacle Mountain behind the tower kind of fogged in, and there's, well, you can see the top of King now. And you hear me talk a lot about King Mountain. That's kind of our weather station. We can really tell a lot what's going on with the weather by watching that mountain. So on another note, our log lift bags, we just ordered 3 pallets for them from AJ Shaver. He finally got a hold of us and called us back. We've got some shipping arrangements made to the lower 48, so we bought a pallet of the big bags, a pallet of the 6 cord bags and a pallet of the 9 cubic foot bags, which we're gonna share with Pete. You've seen Pete up here with the Eastman made 511. So he is retired and starting to do a little bit of sauna wood down in the city, doing real well with that. So he's bagging that up and taking it to the city. And so we do have 3 of those pallets coming up of bags. And as you can see here, Jill's been piling up some of this wood that we had this pile a little bit big and it didn't dry well. We had a lot of rain. This pile here we actually started last fall. We had so much rain, it started to mold a little bit. So we opening it up and letting it dry out. So she's been piling this up. Let it air out a little bit as we get time. So we normally don't like to touch the wood, but this case we had to, and we had a viewer ask about breaking the piles down, which my tractor won't reach up on top. I got a big excavator coming here at the end of the month. I'm going to be doing some work around the property. Medium-sized excavator, to me, it's a little 54,000 pound machine. And I'll reach up and we're going to actually take some of these piles apart and pile them and check them out. Some of it's okay, just in certain spots. I think when we had a lot of rain, it didn't dry as well as we would like to have had it dry. The wood we cut over in March and the 1st of April in the RV park is smaller piles, and that's actually drier. So I think that's going to be a key for us this year. So let me take you over to the RV park. Walk you around here. If you're new to the channel, that's Jill's Oliver. And her, pick this up real quick, her little Samurai hydraulic buzz saw. She uses this for her bundle wood, which is doing really well. And we are selling now 50 to 60% cottonwood compared to dry spruce. Really taken off. I gave some samples away and we have some really dry cottonwood. Starts and burns nice, doesn't have that smoky smell on your clothes when you're done burning it. As I say, the other white wood. So as we go by here, I'll show you. Jill does bag up some of our wood by hand. We just throw it in these bags. And then we have, these are actually 2 years old. We've reused them, repurposed them a couple of times, sometimes 3 or 4. And we'll keep them up on a pallet. And a customer will come by with a small pickup truck, usually with a really short bed and want some wood to take to their cabin. So we just set one of them in the back of the truck, and it's 1/3 of a cord, and they can strap it down with a couple ratchet straps and be on their way. So as you can see, our pile is, inventory is getting down. We have gone through a lot of wood this last month and haven't brought in a lot. So fortunately this time of year, it's a slow time for our clearing contractors. So they've cleared all winter long and all summer. Now they're building these homes. So we're fortunate enough to be slowed down. So here's a nice white spruce log I got off the property across the road, which we purchased last month. Here's some cottonwood. If you watch Tony's Cool Tools or Chris in the WoodYard, they just hate cottonwood, and that's our money maker. And Tony talked about coming up on vacation. Chris was up here, but he had to fish. He didn't want to cut wood. So the cottonwood still lays here. They don't want to cut it. So Jill's going to cut that this coming week. And as you can see, the cottonwood that Pete processed last February, the pile is about half gone. He's cut about 10 cord for us running the processor, and I had him doing cottonwood while Jill was on vacation, and she's been bundling that wood. There's the semi-load that we brought in a month ago, I guess now. Time flies. And we have some 14-inch wood if somebody wants a little shorter wood. And these are the piles we cut last March and into April before we got them done. And it's drying well. This wood is all down to 17, 18%. So we're very happy with that. And I grab a bucket now and then. Somebody will want just a bucket for over here. I'll grab a bucket out of the pile, just checking it too. And I got a couple cord out of this pile the other day. This is a smaller wood tops that we cut up last spring, and so it's split a little smaller. We have a few customers that want smaller split wood, so I just grab it out of that pile. Same with this one here, another pile. So we had 50 full cord over here drying, and of course it gets open wind here in the old RV park. It's much more open, and I have some wrap asphalt grindings down, so it stays dry for the most part. Even when it rains, as you can see here, the wood seems to stay dry. We don't have pallets down here, but it seems to be working pretty good so far. So if we were going to be in this business a long time, I would either have a strip of pavement, probably pavement because it's black, and put a couple strips of pavement down 12 foot wide, quite long, crossways of the wind, and taper them off, slope them a little bit so the water runs off them, just 2 degrees or 2%, I guess. And I'd stack the wood on that. It's easy to scoop up with a rock bucket. It wouldn't absorb a lot of moisture out of the ground. I think that's the way to go. I would still like to pave a couple strips out here. And Jill says, nope, not gonna waste the money. So, as all you guys know, when the wife says no, she pretty much means it. Except for when it comes to me buying a gun. She'll say no, then she'll kind of give me a grin like, yeah, whatever. So anyway, I wanted to give you a quick view of the CordKing, a 500-hour review. Here's a trailer load of wood that a customer dropped off. We gotta obviously level that off and secure it. He just left it here for a couple days while he's in town shopping, and this is going down to Valdez. So that's 235 miles, I believe, from here. So that's actually one of our local customers, 235 miles. So they'll drop their trailer off going into Anchorage and shop for the day, or doctor's appointments, which is another 70 miles south of us. Instead of dragging their trailer all over, they'll leave it here, and then we'll fill it up, and they'll come back. And we have customers that just sometimes won't even be here. We'll come here and there'll be a trailer sitting in the yard. So kind of nice part about living in Alaska, we got a lot of really honest, nice people, especially when you get out of the city. And if I'm not here tomorrow, they'll just leave the money somewhere and call me and say, hey, I left the money wherever, and it'll be there. So it's nice to, that they trust us with good wood, and we trust them for leaving the money. So the shop's coming along pretty good. We got some more work to do, but let's give you a quick view of the front here. So today I started putting up some J-channel. As you can see there, I'm covering the edges of the metal. And Jill's taking insulation up. Now Magnus did spray down in there yesterday on the ceiling, not up on the roof, just the ceiling. He put an inch down to kind of seal everything, and then we had all these fiberglass bats, so we're going to put those on top. I'm right here. I'll take you in. Click on a light here, or two. We do have a little bit of echo right now, but just to give you a quick shot of the shop, if you didn't see it in the last video. This is going to be mainly Jill's woodworking shop. So we have it all wired up, and we're going to put some the white metal on the eaves, and then we have lights to go up in there, some can lights to go up in underneath here. We're going to put 4 lights underneath. It's like this little covered porch, and then next spring we will concrete a little slab out front here. Take you around to the side of the Conex. And this one, for you guys that are new to the video, our channel, this whole complete side will open up. These two doors in the middle open up individual. Swing them back to here and then unlock the second door, and you can open up 20 foot at a time, or the entire 40 foot of this Conex will open up. And these are fairly new to the market. They do have them with different doors with a partition in them, but this is fully open, so it's got a 14-inch I-beam underneath, 3/4 inch thick. It's got two of them to give it the support it needs with the walls being gone. And the same way with the top, it's got an extra heavy beam all the way through the top. And of course we bolted the trusses to that beam, and we put the 6-inch beam over the regular standard 2x6 or 4x6 because we wanted the extra height inside the shop for the dust collection system. So we have 9'4" ceilings in the shop. Give you a quick shot up here in the attic while I'm here. Jill's back in there. You can't see her. She's putting fiberglass down, but this is all foam on the ceiling. We told him 1 inch, but he put 2. Magnus is very generous with the foam, so that's a benefit to us. Like I said, this totally seals everything up. It'll be very easy to heat. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. We keep the sawdust flying here in the Alaska Woodyard, and
I understand Jeff is thinking of buying another gun. Yikes! Hopefully it's not more expensive than our shop. That won't happen.
she saw that when she was editing my clip earlier, so I didn't get away with that.
No.
I'm gonna have to learn how to edit, I guess, a little more.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
We'll see you guys soon.